Yeah, we celebrating 20 years in the game. Never thought we would really be here. It's kind of a trip to look back on all of the years that we've been doing this and performing and touring. And basically for this tour, we're doing a lot of material from the 93 Till Infinity album, stuff that we don't normally do, and kind of like reaching back into some of the old demo tapes and stuff that people heard on Hiero oldies tapes, like classic material from Souls of Mischief, kind of going through our whole entire, career, but really focusing on the old school stuff, even before 93 Till Infinity, you know what I mean? And the response has been really good, positive. We got fans from all walks of life, all age groups, you know what I mean? Some people that was born in 93, you know what I mean? Like 93 Till Infinity, that's their joint. And then other people that was around during that era and coming to the shows back, 20 years ago. They're coming back and revisiting it again. So it's dope to just see that much diversity at the shows.
I mean, it's just, 20-year cycle. So the kids, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, mainstream media is focused towards young people, for the most part, unless they're trying to sell you some, like, Viagra or something. So there's a 20-year cycle. So, the 20-year cycle for now is the 90s, Most of the kids are saying they're 90s babies. A lot of them were born in the 90s, so they really didn't grow up in the 90s. But this is what's, it's nostalgic for them. It reminds them of an era that was probably better, I guess, than now. And, I mean, I guess when you listen to sort of hip-hop music and all that kind of stuff, it probably was better than now. But it's just a regular cycle. I don't think it's because the 90s were special. First part of the millennium, it was the 80s, When we were high school kids, it was the 70s. All the girls were dressing like platforms and, thrift. When they went to the thrift store, they'd buy polyester and bell-bottoms and stuff. So it's just a regular cycle. I mean, it's good because the 90s were awesome music-wise, especially for hip-hop. And, I mean, it's good for us. But, like, our fan base spans a few decades. So it's just interesting because we have 17-year-olds and 20, somebody born in 93 is 20. So they're now at the shows getting into stuff that either they grew up on or they probably didn't hear except as babies.
It's called The Kitchen. It comes out in 2 weeks. I hope you like it.
My man Gully Ducats got a few tracks on there. Stephen King. I hope I'm not leaving anybody out. But, yeah.
We made that song before any of these big gun debates were going on. I mean, the gun debate's been going on now for a long time, but before the current hot button topics were the debate du jour, we made the song up. But it just seemed appropriate to put it out because it's dialogues about sort of this Pandora's box we got going with the guns. And it's, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Who's going to... Do I give up all of our guns and then we live in a police state? All that stuff that you sort of see on the news and never really deal with. It was just kind of cool to bring it into context from a hip-hop perspective. But it was more like we put it out now, but that's something, we're from Oakland. Like, gun violence is a huge part of our culture out there just because of the preponderance of crack. I mean, they used to leave shipments of guns in our train yards. So it was just something that we were interested in speaking on, and it felt like the right time after all these tragedies and stuff like that to bring it up for dialogue, especially among young people, because I think everybody's desensitized to gun violence. It's so prevalent that maybe putting it into bringing it up in the conversation and being kind of critical of it might make them talk about it rather than just guns are hella cool and they're a fact of life and we got to live with it.
Souls of Mischief being the group within the group of Hieroglyphics, you know what I mean? It's kind of like our blueprint for how we do songs just translates directly into Hieroglyphics, and kind of like we help to guide the ship a little bit because we are a group, and so we understand the group dynamic more than some of the other artists that are strictly solo. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you're a starting point guard. You're not really used to coming off the bench. You know what I mean? You're not used to like kicking small verses. You're used to doing like, 3 16s or whatever, you know what I mean, and a chorus and all that. So, I mean, when it's for us, we're used to that. So when we're working with hieroglyphics, it's really not that much different. And I do feel like we kind of help the structure of the songs are kind of similar to what Souls of Mischief might do, you know what I mean, in the song. And we also have like paired up with, you know, like kind of broken up in two and two, and we've done we did a Focus record prior to the Hieroglyphics first album, which was like us doing all solo material, like Souls of Mischief broken up, and each one of us doing solo songs. So, you know, the formula that we use within Hieroglyphics, we've done before in Souls of Mischief, so it's really, really similar.
Everything changes. It's been 20 years. Nothing really stays the same. It's a bigger industry. Anything that gets corporate has obvious effects on it. Same thing with the hip hop music. It's not really no different than any other music in that fashion. Yeah, you know, it's here, it's bigger. Some people like that, some people don't, but that's what it is.
I mean, you know, everybody always want to hear the sex stories and whatever. I mean, that's really whatever. We never really sweated that too hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been so many other wilder, crazier experiences, you know, like life-threatening things that have happened. That's the shit I remember way more than some bitches or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like people shooting at us and stuff like that. That's what it's like, oh, man, you remember that time when, you know. I mean, we were thinking of a story like we were in Albuquerque, New Mexico, just after a show, chilling, whatever, signing autographs. And these dudes like got in a fight. You know what I mean? One guy was like not from the show, and one guy was actually attending the show. You know what I mean? And they got into it. And the guy that was attending the show kind of got the better of the guy that wasn't at the show. And he was, you know, he walks off. He hops into a car. I guess his homies like pulled up right at the same time. As soon as he got in the car, he just turned around and just started shooting into the crowd. Shot like 3 people, and we were all like, the whole Hieroglyphics was all right there. One cat that was with us had a bullet like go through his jeans. Like, you know, if your jeans are kind of like off your skin a little bit when you're standing up, baggy jeans, you know what I mean? A bullet just went right through. That's how close he almost got shot. So that's kind of crazy. That's like one of the craziest things that ever happened while we was on tour.
Yeah, we got a new record coming, so we're just working on it. Just trying to make it fantastic, you know what I'm saying, though? Like, not put too much out there. Fortunately, we're not kind of stuck in this sort of industry paradigm or release schedules and, oh, it's got to come out on this date because Jay-Z's coming out on that day. And, you know, like, we don't care about none of that. We got to worry about that. So it's going to be dope. It's coming soon. Got a couple more songs to finish. Then we're going to mix it. It's going to be really good.
You can always check us out. Hieroglyphics.com. Been up forever. You know what I mean? Google it. It's like the first thing that pops up. So, yeah. Everything that you need to know is going on there. We got links to all of our videos and music and everything. T-shirts, all that. Yo, what's up? Souls of Mischief in the house, man. Big shout out to TheNEHipHop.com. One love.
We be wilding out. Shit. I can't think of anybody that's really crazy. Like, oh, these guys are crazy. We're probably the crazy group.